Welcome to Shop Strategy. This deep dive is powered by Growth Suite. Growth Suite helps you to run smart discount campaigns on your store. You can test it for free on your Shopify store. All right, let's unpack this. Have you ever logged into your Shopify store, pulled up a standard report, and just felt a little bit lost? Like you're staring at numbers, but they aren't really telling you the story of your business. You see total sales, maybe top products, but you're left asking, okay, that's the surface, but what does it really mean for my specific goals?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do I know why sales dipped last Tuesday, or if that recent promotion actually brought in profitable customers?
That feeling is incredibly common. Shopify's default reports are, well, they're a starting point, right? They give you a pulse.
Right.
But they often lack the depth and specificity you need to answer those crucial, nuanced questions. The ones that actually drive real, targeted growth.
Yeah.
It's like getting a weather report for the whole country when you need to know if it's going to rain on your street.
Exactly. And that's the gap custom reports are designed to fill.
Yeah.
Think of them not just as reports, but as your personal magnifying glass for your store's data. They feel like this secret weapon for store owners who want to move beyond just tracking what happened.
Right.
And actually understand why it happened and maybe what they should do next. You don't need to be the data scientist to use them, but you can use them to gain powerful data-driven insights.
That's exactly it. It's about transforming that raw data into actionable insights tailored specifically to your business questions.
Okay.
And that's exactly our mission for this deep dive, to explore how you can truly harness the full power of Shopify's custom reporting tools.
So let's start simple then. What are Shopify custom reports, fundamentally?
At their core, they're exactly what they sound like. Tailored, flexible, completely personalized views of your data. Unlike the fixed default reports, custom reports let you decide precisely what data you want to look at, how you want it filtered, and how you want it displayed. You can modify existing reports that are, close to what you need,
right,
or build entirely new ones from scratch.
Okay, so it's not just like rearranging columns in a standard report. You're building something bespoke.
Precisely. Default reports give you that general overview, which is fine for a quick check-in.
Sure.
But custom reports bridge that critical gap. They allow you to focus on metrics and dimensions that matter uniquely to your store. For example, tracking the performance of products only within a specific collection after a targeted email campaign.
Okay.
Or getting a detailed breakdown of customer behavior filtered by location, or even calculating the exact ROI for a specific marketing channel by combining sales and discount data.
That level of detail sounds really powerful. Is this feature available on all Shopify plans, though?
Well, you get basic exploration capabilities across all plans, allowing some level of customization. However, the full suite of advanced features like building reports completely from scratch and using the full range of metrics and dimensions that's primarily available on the Advanced and Plus plans.
Oh, okay.
If you're on a lower tier, you'll find the options, well, they're more limited.
Good distinction to make. So for store owners listening who are already juggling, a million things, why should they invest the time to learn and use custom reports? What's the real payoff?
The biggest payoff is moving from making decisions based on gut feeling or guesswork to making decisions based on concrete evidence from your own store's data. Imagine you ran a big social media promotion last week. A default report might show, okay, total sales went up. A custom report can tell you exactly which products sold, which customer segments bought them, and even which specific social post drove the most valuable orders.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That insight lets you replicate success and, just as importantly, stop wasting effort on what doesn't work.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
It's the difference between hoping something worked and actually knowing it did.
Absolutely. It also significantly enhances your business intelligence. You gain much deeper insights into your customers.
How so?
Instead of just seeing who bought what, custom reports can help you identify products frequently bought together, understand which customer segments have the highest lifetime value, that's LTV.
Right, LTV.
Or pinpoint where your most valuable customers are coming from. This informs smarter decisions on inventory, personalized marketing, even future product development.
Knowing your high LTV customers, that sounds like marketing gold right there.
It really can be.
The source also mentions saving time and resources. How does creating more reports save time? That seems a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does, but it's because you're not sifting through irrelevant noise anymore.
Ah, okay.
You create streamlined reports that show you exactly the information you need for a specific task or question. No more, no less. This efficiency lets you spot opportunities like an unexpected sales surge in a specific region. Or respond to challenges, maybe a drop in average order value, your AOV, much faster than if you were trying to piece it together manually or just wade through generic data.
Okay, you've convinced me this is essential.
Huh.
For someone logging into Shopify right now, where do they even start? Where do you find this feature?
Okay, so the path is slightly different depending on if you're on desktop or mobile. On a desktop browser, you'll go to Analytics, then Reports, and look for a button that says something like Create Custom Report or maybe New Exploration.
And for those on their phone?
Yeah.
Like checking things on the go?
Yep. In the Shopify mobile app on iOS, you'll find it under Analytics, then Reports, and tap the little plus icon.
Got it.
Android users, similar path. Shopify app, then Analytics Reports, and tap the I+.
Okay. And once you're in there, what does the interface look like? Is it intimidating?
It can seem like a lot at first, but it's fairly logical. You'll typically see a few key areas. There's often a panel where you visually select the data you want, your metrics and dimensions.
Right.
For more advanced users, there might be a Shopify QL query editor, which is where you can write sort of code-like queries for highly specific reports. We can talk more about that later.
Oh.
And then you have options for how to visualize that data, choosing chart types, things like that.
And obviously you need permission to access this, right? Not just any staff member can go creating reports.
Correct. You'll need admin access to the store or specific staff permissions configured to allow you to create and view reports.
Makes sense.
So yeah, if you're working with the team, make sure the right people have that access.
So once I'm in, I'm ready to build. What's the easiest way to dip my toe in without getting overwhelmed?
The easiest starting point, especially if you're new to this, is modifying an existing default report.
Okay.
Find a report that's somewhat close to what you need. Maybe it's a sales report by product. Then you can customize it. You can add different metrics, change the dimensions it's broken down by, or apply filters. Once it looks right, you just save it with a new name. It's definitely less intimidating than starting from a completely blank page.
Okay, so like starting with a template and just tweaking it.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
The other approach is building from what Shopify calls an empty exploration, which means starting completely from scratch.
Okay.
This gives you the most flexibility, but it does require you to manually add everything you need, at least one metric, just to begin and build the report structure step by step.
So that's for when the existing reports just aren't cutting it at all.
Precisely. When you have a really unique question, none of the defaults even get close to answering. The source also mentioned templates, which can be a kind of middle ground.
Right.
Offering pre-built starting points for common use cases, though how many you get might depend on your plan.
All right, so once you're actually building, what are the core ingredients you really need to understand? The building blocks.
The absolute essentials are metrics and dimensions. You have to get your head around these two.
Metrics first.
Metrics are the quantitative values you're measuring, basically, the numbers. Think total sales, order count, average order value, maybe customer acquisition cost, or SAC.
Right, the cost to get a customer.
Exactly. How much it costs you, on average, to acquire one new customer.
And dimensions.
Dimensions are the attributes or categories you use to segment or break down those metrics. They're how you slice the data.
Like?
This could be time, by day, week, month, product category, customer segment, sales channel, location, discount code used, really anything that describes the data.
Okay, so metrics are what you measure, dimensions are how you break it down or slice it. Got it.
Precisely. And Shopify offers a really wide range across sales, customer, product, marketing, and more. The real power, though, comes from combining them effectively.
How so?
For example, pairing a sales metric like revenue with a product dimension like product type lets you see your revenue broken down by type.
Makes sense.
Or pairing a customer metric like LTV with a customer segment dimension lets you compare the lifetime value of different groups of customers. You can even create calculated metrics that aren't standard, like profit margin percentage, if you have your cost data in there, or revenue per visitor.
And the key principle here is to choose combinations that answer a specific question, right?
Yeah.
Not just throw a bunch of data onto a page.
Absolutely critical. The goal isn't data overload. It's focused insight. You have to ask yourself, what question am I trying to answer with this report?
Right.
And then select only the metrics and dimensions needed to answer that specific question. Keep it clean.
Okay. So once you have your data points selected, your metrics and dimensions, filters, and comparisons seem like the next step to really refining the view.
They are absolutely essential for getting to the right data, not just all the data. Filters let you narrow things down based on specific criteria.
Like what?
Could be simple, like showing sales only for a particular product category, or more complex using nested logic, like ORAN, to include or exclude multiple conditions. And of course, date range filters are key for focusing on specific time periods.
And comparisons add context, I imagine.
Exactly. Comparisons are how you understand performance relative to something else. Without comparison, a number is often meaningless.
Right.
Period over period comparisons show trends. How did this month perform compared to last month? Or this year compared to last year? You can compare different segments against each other or compare your performance against predefined targets or benchmarks you might have set.
The source mentioned advanced filtering, like excluding outliers. Why would you want to exclude data?
Good question. Excluding outliers, maybe like one massive, unusual order that's not typical of your business.
Okay.
Can give you a clearer picture of your typical or average performance. It stops that one weird event from skewing your view. You might also use advanced filters to focus specifically on certain customer segments, like only showing data for your most valuable customers based on their past spending, or isolating the performance of just your high-impact, best-selling products. It helps you focus your analysis where it matters most.
Okay. So you've selected your data, you filtered it, compared it. Now you might just have a giant table of numbers. How do you make sense of it all quickly?
Yeah.
Avoid the spreadsheet eyes glaze over effect.
Yeah, that's where visualization comes in. Even the best data can be overwhelming if it's just rows and columns. Choosing the right chart makes the insights pop.
So like using line charts for trends over time.
Exactly. Line charts are perfect for showing how metrics change over time, great for spotting trends, seasonality, or seeing the impact of a specific event like a sale. Bar charts are excellent for comparing different categories, which products sold best, which marketing channels performed highest, comparing sales across different regions. Direct comparisons.
And tables still have a place.
Oh, absolutely. Tables are still necessary when you need the detailed numbers, the exact figures for digging into specifics or exporting.
So you pick the chart type that best tells the story you see in the data.
Yeah.
Trend, comparison, detail.
Precisely. Ask, what story am I trying to tell? Are you showing a trend? Line chart. Are you comparing items? Bar chart. Do you need the exact figures? Table. And you can enhance these with things like conditional formatting to highlight specific values. Maybe make high numbers green and low numbers red.
All right.
Or use color coding to differentiate data series. It just makes the key takeaways visually clear much faster.
This already feels like a huge leap from the default reports. But the source mentions taking it even further with advanced techniques. What's this Shopify QL thing all about? Sounds technical.
It is a bit more technical, yeah. Shopify QL, or Shopify Query Language, is really for those who want to build highly complex, customized reports that might be difficult or even impossible to create using just the standard visual interface.
Okay, so that sounds like it involves some kind of coding.
It does. It has a syntax similar to SQL, which is the standard language for talking to databases.
Like SQL.
But it's tailored specifically for Shopify's data structure. There's definitely a learning curve involved, no doubt about it, but it offers immense flexibility.
How so? What can you do?
You can use functions like assume, average, count, apply various operators, and write very specific logic to pull and manipulate data exactly as you need it.
What kinds of things can you do with Shopify QL that you can't easily do otherwise? Give me an example.
Okay, well, you could create really sophisticated custom metrics or calculations that rely on multiple data points or conditional logic things not available out of the box. You could build detailed cohort analysis reports, for instance, to see how groups of customers acquired at different times behave over their lifetime with your store.
That's powerful.
Or create complex product analysis that simultaneously considers sales data, current inventory levels, and the specific discounts applied to those products. It just unlocks deeper layers of analysis for businesses with complex questions.
Definitely sounds like the power user level.
Mm-hmm.
What about making sure you're always looking at the latest data without manually running these reports every single day or week?
Right. Yeah, that's where report automation and scheduling become invaluable. It saves you a ton of time, obviously. And it ensures everyone on your team is looking at the same fresh, consistent data. Consistency is key for comparisons.
How does that work? Is it easy to set up?
It's generally pretty straightforward. Once you've built your custom report and you're happy with it, you can configure scheduling options, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever cadence makes sense for that particular report.
Okay.
You set up email notifications, specify who should receive the report, and choose the format, maybe PDF or CSV file.
So the report just lands in your inbox automatically.
Okay. Exactly. You can also distribute these reports within Shopify itself, controlling who on your team has access. Or you can export reports manually, of course. And for even more advanced stuff, you can integrate them with tools like Google Sheets, potentially for auto updates, or connect to external business intelligence platforms for even deeper analysis. But the basic scheduling saves that repetitive manual effort.
Speaking of evolving needs, the kinds of reports you need probably change as your business grows, right?
Yeah.
A startup isn't looking at the same things as a big scaling company.
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial point. A startup is typically focused on very different questions.
Right.
Like validating the model. What's my actual customer acquisition cost? My CAC? Are people finding product market fit? Is this thing working? How's my cash flow and runway looking? Reports tend to focus on those fundamentals.
And once you've validated and you're starting to grow,
then the focus usually shifts to optimization and finding ways to scale that growth efficiently. So you need reports on marketing channel effectiveness, which channels are driving the most profitable sales, not just any sales. Customer retention metrics become huge. Are customers coming back? Who are my most loyal ones? And inventory optimization becomes critical, predicting demand, managing stock levels efficiently to avoid stockouts or overstocking.
And then at the sort of major scaling stage,
your needs become much more sophisticated. You might be looking at regional performance comparisons if you sell internationally. Advanced LTV analysis across different cohorts or customer segments becomes really important. You might be identifying opportunities for product line expansion based on detailed sales data, analyzing profit margins with much more granularity across different products or categories.
So tailoring your reports to your current business stage is key.
It ensures you're measuring what matters most right now for the decisions you need to make.
It's clear these tools offer incredible power, but it's also important to understand their limits, I guess. What should store owners be aware of? Where might they hit a wall?
Yeah, absolutely. While powerful, there are limitations. Many are plan-specific, as we touched on earlier.
Right.
Feature availability, the number of report templates you can save, maybe limitations on using custom formula fields. Those can vary depending on your Shopify plan. Data retention policies also differ, affecting how far back you can report natively.
And technical limits.
Yeah.
Beyond the plan.
Yeah. Sometimes really complex reports, especially those crunching massive data sets, can hit query complexity limits or just take a long time to process.
Okay.
And there are also some constraints on the types of visualizations available natively compared to what you might get in dedicated BI tools.
Are there ways around these limitations? Workarounds?
Often, yes. For really complex reports, you might need to break them down into simpler linked reports. You can sometimes get creative with calculated fields using the available options to approximate what you need. And crucially, you can always supplement Shopify's native reporting with external tools or even custom development when you hit a hard limit for something absolutely critical to your business.
Okay, that brings us nicely to third-party apps. How can those help fill the gaps?
The Shopify App Store has a really robust ecosystem of reporting apps. Many are specifically designed to fill perceived gaps in the native capabilities or offer deeper dives into specific areas.
Like what kind of areas?
They often specialize in things like advanced financial reporting and profit tracking, really granular marketing attribution, detailed customer segmentation beyond the basics, or specific inventory analysis like bundle reporting or forecasting.
Can you give us some examples mentioned in the source? Any names people might recognize?
Sure. The source mentioned apps like Mippler, advanced reports, which can help with more complex custom formulas if the native options aren't enough. Report Toaster was mentioned for offering specialized reports, maybe for things like product bundles or different types of cohort analysis. And BeProfit is a well-known one for really deep financial insights and profitability tracking.
How should someone choose an app? There must be loads.
It completely depends on your specific needs and the precise questions you're trying to answer that the native tools just can't handle effectively. You need to consider your budget, of course, as these are typically paid apps,
Right.
and ensure they integrate smoothly with the rest of your workflow. They can add powerful capabilities, but they also introduce additional cost and potentially complexity to your tech stack.
And for the absolute maximum flexibility, when even apps aren't enough.
Then you're looking at custom development. This is really for businesses with truly unique, advanced requirements that just can't be met by native tools or existing apps on the market.
What does that involve, typically?
It usually means using the Shopify API, that's the application programming interface,
Okay.
to extract your store's raw data, your orders, customers, products, inventory levels, everything.
And this could involve being your own separate data warehouse.
Exactly. That's often the path. You might export your Shopify data regularly to an external database, set up what are called ETL processes, extract, transform, load to clean and structure that data, and then build entirely custom dashboards or analyses using powerful business intelligence tools like Tableau, Power BI, Looker, whatever you prefer.
That sounds like a significant undertaking.
It absolutely is. It's a major investment requiring technical expertise and ongoing maintenance. It's really a path taken only when the business value of those specific, complex insights clearly outweighs the considerable cost and complexity involved. You need a strong business case.
Okay, so we've covered everything from the basics to the bleeding edge with custom dev. What are the best practices for making sure the custom reports you do create are actually effective and useful day to day, not just collecting digital dust?
Great question. It really starts with fundamental report design principles. Clarity and simplicity are paramount.
Less is more.
Often, yes. Focus on the key metrics that answer your specific question. Avoid clutter and unnecessary data points. Use consistent formatting so people know what they're looking at. The goal has to be actionable insights. The report should clearly tell you what's working, what's not, maybe highlight exceptions or outliers, and point towards potential opportunities. It needs to spark an action or a decision.
And make them easy to understand, right? Even if you're not an analytics expert yourself.
Precisely. Accessibility is key. Use clear labels, add brief explanations or definitions where necessary, maybe in a note, and ensure they're usable on mobile devices if that's how your team often accesses them.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the report should tell a clear story and facilitate a decision.
And all of this is pretty useless if the underlying data itself isn't trustworthy, I imagine.
Data quality and integrity are their absolute foundation. You have to trust the numbers.
How do you ensure that?
Well, first, ensure your tracking is set up correctly. Things like marketing attribution tags, conversion tracking, and audit it regularly. Don't just set it and forget it. Address data anomalies when you see them, investigate unusual spikes or drops. Understand things like seasonality that might affect your numbers, and ideally implement some data governance. Have clear, agreed-upon definitions for your key metrics. Control who can create or modify reports. Document your processes.
Right.
If you don't trust the data, you won't trust the reports, and you certainly won't make accurate decisions based on them.
How do you make reporting a regular, useful part of your business operations, not just something you look at once a month?
By establishing clear workflows and cadences. Decide how often certain reports need to be reviewed.
Like?
Maybe daily checks for core operational metrics, weekly reviews for performance trends, monthly deep dives for strategic health. Build these reviews into your existing team meetings and business cycles. Make it routine. Also, really commit to continuous improvement. Gather feedback from the people who use the reports.
Ask them if it's useful.
Exactly. Is this report helpful? Is anything confusing? Is something missing? Iterate on your designs based on that feedback. Adapt reports as your business needs change or as Shopify updates the platform itself.
And training the team seems important too.
Crucial. Educate your team not just on where to find the reports, but on how to interpret them. Build overall data literacy within your company where appropriate. Maybe create some self-service options or templates so team members can answer basic data questions themselves without needing an analyst every time.
Yeah.
When reporting becomes integrated into the day-to-day rhythm, that's when it truly starts to drive improvement across the board.
Looking ahead then, how do you ensure your reporting strategy stays valuable as Shopify evolves and your business continues to grow? How do you future-proof it?
Good thinking. First, you have to stay current with Shopify updates. Monitor their release notes, read their blog, test new reporting features as they roll out.
Be proactive.
Exactly. Be prepared to adapt your existing reports if the platform changes how data is structured or presented. Also, try to be aware of their future roadmap. Sometimes beta programs or community forums offer hints of what's coming down the pike. Also, actively plan for scaling your reporting alongside your business. As your business grows, the specific metrics you focus on will inevitably shift maybe from acquisition focus to retention, then to profitability.
Right.
Consider how your team structure needs to evolve to support increasing data needs. Do you need dedicated analysts? And importantly, lay the groundwork now for more advanced analytics down the road, things like predictive modeling or using AI insights by maintaining clean, well-structured data from the start. Good data hygiene pays off later.
And finally, how do you make reporting truly strategic? So it's not just looking backwards, but actually shaping the future.
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? You need to integrate custom reports directly into your strategic planning process. Use them to build key performance indicator, KPI dashboards that align directly with your core business objectives. Everyone should see how their work impacts the top-level goals. Use reports not just to see what happened, but to inform scenario planning and what-if analysis. What if we increase ad spend here? What if we launch this product line? Use data to model potential outcomes. And most importantly, I think, is to cultivate a genuine data-driven culture across your entire team.
Easier said than done sometimes.
It is, but it's vital. Embed reporting reviews in regular meetings. Celebrate wins that clearly came from data-informed decisions. And just as critically, learn openly from instances where the data revealed something unexpected or challenging. Don't shoot the messenger.
So let's bring it all back together. This deep dive has really shown us that custom reporting in Shopify isn't just about pulling different numbers. It's about gaining deep, personalized insights tailored specifically to your business. It's about moving beyond that default view and enabling genuinely data-driven decisions at every single stage of your growth.
It really is how you transform raw data, which can feel like a confusing mess sometimes, into a clear, actionable, competitive advantage.
So here's a thought to leave you with today. How can you start using custom reports? Not just to track your business's past performance, but to actively illuminate and truly shape its future direction. This deep dive was powered by Growth Suite. Growth Suite is a pretty powerful tool, actually. It leverages AI to analyze customer behavior and then creates personalized discount offers that appear at just the perfect moment for customers. It really helps optimize your whole promotion strategy.
Yeah, timing is everything with discounts.
Exactly. And it's free to install with just a single click on your Shopify store, so you can optimize your discount strategy today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on Shop Strategy.